Are we, are we good?
Yeah.
Yep, we're recording.
All right. How's it going?
Hi, fellow merchants.
How's it going? How's it
Good.
going?
Everybody
Doing all right.
You good today?
Yeah, looking forward to getting this started. Hopefully
right.
we can bring it together, figure it out, and
Yeah,
get this money.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Okay, that's great. In that case, let's begin. Do you have an idea what would you like to discuss about? I mean, have you looked through any of the issues that you have at this moment? Any of you guys?
Yes, I think there's a couple we maybe all should discuss. I don't know if there's a particular order anyone wants to go in, but definitely something about the temperature.
Yes.
We can talk about the advertising, maintenance. I know we all need to discuss kind of what we want to do with clerks as a team, and then
We need to discuss the position as well.
Yes.
yeah, definitely the position.
And that goes as far as the location of everybody within the building.
For sure.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, does anyone have a preference on what topic we start with first?
No, there's nothing. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. If we need to, we can loop back around and
Okay.
use yeah,
Cool.
we can loop back around and get back to it if we need to.
Yeah, if we don't come to a decision, we can like pass on that. Okay.
Okay.
And then for each of our discussion points, we can just kind of talk through all of the different choices and then come to an agreement on maybe we just decide them all a letter.
Yeah, this background noise is very noisy.
Yeah, it's very noisy.
We can't hear ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so temperature. I mean, I know I'm a florist, so I'll go ahead and start. I know for me personally, I don't. All of our flowers are kept inside cooler temperatures, so I would almost be in favor of a warmer climate. I don't know what everyone else is thinking.
So, what do you have any specific idea? What kind of climate would you like?
Yeah, so I think in the ranges from, excuse from 75 being the lowest for, and all the way up to 77, so 25 degrees Celsius. I would personally not mind being kind of in the upper threshold of that versus a cooler temperature, but open to hear kind of what the group is thinking in terms of what your needs are.
So temperatures for us to maintain the flowers.
So we actually have refrigerators, so the temperature of our space isn't particularly, it's not needed to be super cold. So, yeah, fine with higher, personally.
Does anybody else have a preference? Temperature?
No, you may go ahead.
Okay. If it's temperature is not the biggest point for me for us as far as our end, but if it's like in the middle or towards the lower end, it would be the most beneficial to us. But we could work with that as far as like if we can keep it on the middle range as far as like the where am I at? Like 21, like the 21 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius. We can
21, yeah.
21.
At least for me, since we have a bunch of customers who are coming in and out, we do understand that there's always the climate here that it is hellish whenever it's heat. So if we have a couple of customers coming into our shop, and I'm sorry, to our marketplace, to our grocery store, and they want to at least feel refreshed, I think somewhere close to in the 68 Fahrenheit, or maybe 65 or 68, that should be good. I mean, 20 Celsius, that should be good.
Okay. And as for me as a liquor store, we have no preference in temperature, so we don't care about it.
Okay. Well, since I know I'm particularly a fan of more 25, it sounds like that might definitely be too high for your customers. And
Exactly, yeah.
I know the baker would like more in the middle, so maybe we could just kind of both of us meet in the middle and compromise at 21 degrees Celsius.
I'm good with that.
21?
21. I don't think that will be a good idea, but I guess I don't have an option. We can agree to 21.
Yeah, and like it's not well. It might not have to be final at this point. Are we just gonna stick with that for now, or
We can stick with that
We can stick for that one for now.
for now. Okay.
So the choice is C, right?
Yes.
Yes, in this case, it will be C.
Okay.
Okay, if you don't mind, I think it would be a good idea to move this forward towards advertisement. And I do really believe that although it is a good idea for us to combine, do a combined campaign as being part of a single market, and advertise the market as a whole. I think it should be a percentage depending on the gross profits of each every one of us, which, in my opinion, will be the most fairest thing to do. I mean, if we're selling more or the most, we should be the ones who pay more of it, and vice versa. If either one of you guys have more profits than us, then I think you should expend more advertisement than the rest of us.
Okay. As for me as a liquor store, advertising is very, very important for our company, and I truly believe each company should have their own budget and their own campaign for advertising. Because I believe every company here has a very, very special need and special demand for each customer. So I believe each company should have their own campaign for each member and be spent good importance to their advertising. That's my point.
Yours?
I would actually agree with you and think that it would be wise of us to do a combined campaign just with the amount of traffic we bring in as a collective group. I think we all could leverage each other. I know we all offer different specialties, so I think to pull people in as a collective group to our one location. I know from a flower perspective, we aren't really going to ever do our own campaign. So for me personally, this is a bigger win if we did do a combined campaign. So
the combined campaign, we could do that if what you said was the actually if y'all agreed that the actual was the we do a combined campaign as a whole with the marketing, the gross profit being used for each merchant. Okay, I can agree to that.
So which
I was kind of
B.
leaning towards B.
Okay, that actually is something that we can agree the most. I mean, I understand that you are not maybe happy with that answer, but we can renegotiate if you wish. But
personally, me and him are on the same boat. But like, if it's for the better good, then
yeah,
we can.
let's just not think about how it could be important for you. Let's think about the collective good in this sense.
Okay, but both of you want combined.
Yes, we both want to combine them. I mean, it's beneficial for all.
Like,
You want to separate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to separate it.
Oh, you want to separate?
oh, you want it separate?
I said, I prefer to have it separate, but that's something I can let go of as far as
So
combining it.
So which one you prefer? Two options.
Okay, then I'm pretty sure that we should focus with.
I would vote for B, that we'd have a combined campaign and advertising for the market as a whole, and then we would each pay into that a percentage of what our individual profits were.
I agree with that. Same with me. Yeah.
And you want to do B too, or do you?
I could do B.
You want to do B?
I'm going to B.
I'll do B.
Don't worry, we can renegotiate. If you have any important stuff to say about it, we can move forward with that one.
Okay, so the clerks. Does anyone want to kick this one off in terms of preferences on who we hire and kind of where they work? Do we want to do individual? There's a couple different options on the table. We can hire by a group, train as a group, distribute according to demand for service, and we pay for it by the group. Or we could hire, train by, distribute equally, etc.
Does anyone want to have any ideas? Anything that you might want?
We feel that the clerks should be hired as a group,
Okay.
but have enough individual training so they could direct customers and discuss alternatives in the future. So in case like you have a customer come to your store and they want something else, you could give them like reference to his store, to my store, to her store.
Oh, okay. I was thinking also hiring by group, but here's the thing. Whether we like it or not, each and every one of us are selling our salesmen at some point. Okay. So basically, what we do on training, besides from the very specific options that they are doing, we are training them to sell the company and sell whatever we're producing. So I truly believe that if we hire and train them as a group, but then we distribute them equally to whatever floor space we have. Since, for example, we don't have the same space. For example, I could have more space than the florist, or vice versa. I think that I will need more foot traffic to help any customers that may come in, compared to, for example, the florist. But regardless of that, since we are doing this as a unit, it should be paid by the group. So I think that hiring and training and paying by group, but just distribute them according to what we have as a space.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me as a florist, our business is so specialized and custom and unique, and it really takes a certain skill level and someone with such creativity and such specialized skill. I really cannot get on board with hiring as a group. I just think that you lose such technical skills that it takes to create these masterpieces that we provide our clients, and I think it would take away from the attractiveness of the market if we lost kind of what was special to us. I know you sell some special liquors, and I know as a baker there's probably some goods that you custom bake, and I can't see someone who checks groceries being the master baker or being super knowledgeable in flowers and know how to sell an ancient bottle of liquor and wine.
And to follow up with what you're saying, pretty much it's nice to have someone that's a jack of all trades, but it doesn't really, like it falls up to what you're saying as far as like being specific, as far as like giving the most, not the most attention, but giving the best advice for somebody in the best situation to give information for that store or merchant.
Yeah.
So you want to hire individually, 100%, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Individually. So it doesn't matter what, just want to hire individuals.
No matter what. How about you? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel that we should hire individually and train individually. And each merchant can decide on their own situation as far as with clerks.
So D would be like the best option for you, right? Same thing with you.
I tend to disagree, but I do agree with what you said
I do agree with you too.
about hiring by group.
Yeah.
Although I'm not really a big fan of training individually, but I mean, if that would be something that we can agree upon, training individually, I mean, as you said, we basically may hire them all together. But since you are providing a very specific service, then if you wanted to train individually, then that would be something that I'm willing to work with.
I just think for all of us, I think it helps elevate our businesses when we have specially trained people. I mean, you'd have, it just, I think, would enhance all of our profits if you have specialists on the floor who are trained to do exactly what you want them to do, is sell your product and represent your brand and only your brand. And I definitely think that there would definitely be opportunities for sharing skilled workers in certain aspects, but definitely believe we should hire individually, and maybe we could come to an agreement on kind of the standards we want to set for the individuals we do hire, but we would all be responsible for hiring our own people.
Hiring. Sorry that I'm bugging, but I think hiring by group should be a better option. But
yeah, same thing with me. I do agree with you.
Yeah, the only thing that I can see is that, as you mentioned, training individually would be a good idea, and distribute them according to what they demand or the floor that we have is great. But if we do hiring by group, we basically have all of us control of whoever comes in. So we don't have any bad apple getting all the other apples rotten. So we do have, everyone has a choice of who exactly has to be inside of it.
And we can actually like share the customers too. Instead of becoming a customer for one company, it could be custom for the whole, like everybody's company individually.
I still think as a group we could agree to what that standard is for the individuals we bring in, but we would all still hire individually. I think it could work in both cases.
So you guys want to come back to the issue?
Let's table this one until we discuss the next one, because I'm pretty sure we will have a little bit much to discuss about that one.
Yes.
Okay, so about maintenance, does anyone have any specific ideas what you want to do with maintenance? Because personally, I do believe that since we are within the same market, it should be shared. It should be shared a fourth each, 25% each of us to fix that out. I mean, at the end of the day, we have also a common area that which we are, whether we like it or not, we're responsible for that. So dividing everything 25% each of us, that should be the most fair in that sense.
So, I personally believe either it should be it could be shared where we'd each be responsible for what percentage of floor space we occupy. Just because I know as a florist, like we're a little bit smaller than maybe a grocer, but we would still be willing to share. Or maybe we go separate because we are all at different spaces, and then the common areas we would plus common areas. Separate, each responsible for own floor space. Less. Is D saying that we would occupy that space?
No, it's
Like the floor space that you occupy would be the percentage of what you have to pay towards that the common area. That's what I'm reading from it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the percentage. Okay. Well, my personal preference would be that we share it, and then we each are responsible for the percentage of the floor in the market that we each occupy.
so you're saying basically we separately take care of our own facilities
Yeah.
while making a maintenance depending on percentage of customers about the common area.
Yeah.
Well, I believe. Go ahead. Sorry. I believe that it should be fair and just. The maintenance cost should be shared equally by involved merchants. Sharing and thus reducing the maintenance costs were among the major advantages of forming the market. And dividing costs according to floor space seems ridiculous to us. So I believe it's better for my company, for everybody else in this market, to share and be responsible for one quarter of the total cost.
Yeah, exactly. I do 100% agree with what you're saying. Yeah, if we share that, I mean, to me it one seems fair. But if you, for example, were willing to do separate, instead of just dividing the common area according to function, since we are technically sharing that common area in between all four of us, then at least divide that common area into a 25%, 25%
Of the total cost.
cost of whatever it takes to have it maintained. So if you want to do separate, because I do know exactly what you're talking about of you not having the same amount of space as we do or anyone else's, or whatever is the case with any of you two guys, but I do know where you're coming on. I still believe that if we share everything equal, 25% will be the most ideal. But I'm willing to do separate if each of us can take care of
their own
whatever we
space.
have, and dividing the common area
Yeah.
equally.
So D.
D. Yep. I'm good with
E.
D.
I'm good with D.
I'm good with E.
See, I'm good with E.
Oh, E.
yes.
Oh, what's E? Okay, wow, that's so different.
That's
Oh.
how it's different.
Responsible for their own space.
Yeah, and the common area is divided 25% each.
E, yes. E seemed like a very, very fair choice.
That will be the first to me, in that sense. It has a little bit of what you want as a florist, and it has a little bit of what we want as sharing 25.
Equal contributions for the common area.
Yes.
I'd have to go. Well, my preference would be D because of the amount that
Yeah.
space that.
I would vote D. So basically, our common area maintenance would come into plus common area maintenance costs as a function.
Yeah, so whatever you have as customers, if you have more customers than anyone else, you will pay more for that.
Is it customers or is it just the amount of space, amount of space that you take
It's a
up?
function. Oh, never mind. It's whatever you have, and then making a function of like a ratio of whatever you have compared to the area of the common area. So regardless of that use, I still think that E should be a good idea.
Yeah,
I
same.
mean, because E at the end of the day, this is the only area that will be basically sharing between each of us. And at one point, you'll have more florist customers, or you'll have more drunk people who want to buy liquor, or you have more people wanting to buy pizzas or whatnot, or maybe someone who's waiting for the customers. So I think that since we're all using that very same area, we have everyone has the capability to either use the entire area or just have one single person there. It doesn't matter. at
You're
the end.
voting for E.
I'm voting for E, but
So-
I'll be 100% certain that A is the best option. But if you truly want to be separate, I think E should be the best option in that sense.
Same thing with me. I agree with him. How about
So I could be separate, and we'd each be responsible for our own floor space plus equal contributions to the common area for maintenance. if we're able to also hire individually, train individually, and we're able to decide how many clerks we each have. So if we're willing to go separate there, I think it would. I'm really really believe that we should hire individually.
So you want to trade what we have on E for which letter on clerks?
E.
E.
I say we double down on E, gentlemen.
Well, here's my situation, and I will raise your situation. Here's this. I can go down and say and agree with E, as you mentioned, on clerks, if we go all the way with A on maintenance. If we share 25%. I know it's not ideal, but
I will leave that to the group. Would the group be willing to go E and A?
A as in A on maintenance.
A on maintenance.
Any on maintenance?
And I'm not saying yes to that. I would just like
You're
to
just
know
asking.
what your opinion of that deal
A
is.
for maintenance, right?
yeah, A for
I
maintenance.
agree with you.
E for clerks and A for maintenance.
E for clerk? How about B for clerk?
No.
I think I agree with you. B for clerks and A for maintenance should be the most ideal option.
Oh, no, I'm with the florist on this one. I'm with the florist on this one. If we get E for the clerks, then E for the maintenance, we could
No, she wants A for the maintenance.
A for the maintenance.
Yeah.
Ideally, my ideal situation is E and E.
Me too.
E and E.
No, E and A. Oh, you talk about the E for clerk.
E for clerks. I was like, no. He said it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Well,
okay, so let's table this. We'll star E for clerks, and
Okay.
we'll question mark and star A for maintenance.
maintenance.
Does anybody have a second option for clerks?
Well, like I said, if you truly want to do separate, you said on clerks, right?
Yeah, clerks.
Okay, if you truly want to hire individually,
But who here wants to hire this group as clerks? Besides her.
I'm willing to go down as to hire by group, but train individually and distribute according to what we have in demand. But they will be paid entirely by group. So think of it this way: if you have more employees,
But you want to hire by group though, right? Is that
yeah, I truly want to hire by group. But I'm willing to sacrifice clerks if we get to share everything 25% as for maintenance.
how about you?
I'd rather hire individually. I'd rather do E for clerks, and then ideally I would like to do D for maintenance. But that's not gonna be.
I would really like a D for maintenance too.
Yeah, and I would like a pony for Christmas, but we cannot have everything.
You can if you're really good and you ask Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And guess who said no? It tells us like,
Yeah.
guess who said it?
Okay, we'll table our
We'll table
maintenance
these
and
two.
clerks.
Exactly.
Let's get to the position. So, we obviously have an entrance and an exit, and our market is very big. So, does anyone have any rationale for what they're preferring in terms of space?
I think that ideally it should be a good idea for the market, or whoever has the biggest sales should be at the very front. So ideally, if the florists are the ones who have the most sales or the highest volume of sales, they should be up front. Same with the liquor or as the groceries or the bakery. I'm sorry. Whatever might be the case, I think it should be whoever's at the front to be representative in that sense. I mean, because think of it this way: whenever you go at a mall and you don't have the main entrance of the mall, the very first entrance that you see, for example, are JCPenney's or Macy's, or in some cases Forever 21s. So that's actually because they drive the most sales for the mall itself. So going through that logic, I think it will be the most beneficial for the group to have whoever is selling the most at the very main entrance. So that way you can have those who looking for groceries or looking for flowers or looking for alcohol, whatever you decide to sell. Then they can go forward with the other three establishments. That would be ideal in that way.
So, really quick, I might disagree with you. Just to say that it sounds like earlier our advertising budget was a shared,
Yeah.
since we were all contributing to that equally. So in terms of having the biggest brand name or biggest floor space, I don't necessarily think that would be the one driver of traffic. So, and actually, if you go in those stores, your smaller ticket items are what's your last point of purchase, and like you're closest to the front of where you're purchasing. So, I believe that the position should be dependent upon the size and price point of your goods. So, I would vote that we have either spontaneous purchases near the front, which a flower would indicate you want to pick those up for your wife or spouse or significant other.
Yeah, I don't really think that we can agree on that. It's not ideal.
I feel that the smaller department should be near the entrance, so that way they can actually get the exposures if we are going to split the advertising.
What do you think?
I believe that merchants stocking heavier products, like my liquor store stocking big beers, liquor, like
Yeah,
big
exactly.
wines to be located near the entrance or the exit. Entrance.
Well, I think that if you're not comfortable with having whoever has the most sales up front, which to me sounds wonderful, I think that having, as you said, merchants who have heavier products should be at the nearest entrance.
Yes.
So I think that it's ideal to have them at the very nearest entrance.
It makes sense too.
It does make sense, yeah.
So,
I mean, because
go ahead.
you will have your customer carrying a lot of heavy stuff like a damn fool if you're not having them, if you're having them on the middle. But if you're having them at the exits or the entrance, it should be easier for them to either get their cars and then carry their stuff, or in case they need a clerk, someone over there to carry their stuff, like in a Costco, it would be ideal for them. So I'm willing to go with that one, but I still believe that whoever has the most sales should be at front.
Yeah. So I think if we just look at all of our businesses as a whole, we all do better if we all have sales. And if you place a small department in the back of the store, we will completely lose traffic and we will completely lose sales.
Not
Because to
necessarily.
your point, if you stock the heavier goods and people are going to your store for your goods and they have to never pass your store, how would we ever make any sales in the back?
That's why you have specialized workers to
Exactly.
to refer you
And now,
to your
and now think of it this way. Let's imagine that you, for example, end up getting a wedding, and you're supposed to carry a heavy load of ornaments or anything like that, but you're in the middle or in the middle of the store.
But you would hire specialized employees who would offer to assist and elevate that customer's experience by creating shopping lanes and carts and
Especially
carry-out
carts.
service.
Especially carts.
Instacart is very popular now. You could get into delivery of groceries.
Okay.
What is your position?
I feel that that the small department should be near their entrance, so that way we can make the most out of everybody's money, so that everybody gets a fair deal. as far
What's
as
your
us.
fear?
My fear is that there will be no foot traffic in our place, to be honest. But I think
Because
that
you think that everybody is just going to come in for flowers.
let's be
and
honest.
a
Let's be
cup of
honest.
tea.
Your shops are smaller than what I have. So
Yes.
if they just come in for the flowers, or they just come in for the alcohol, or they just go for the good experience of a pizza, that really loses the whole interest of having a grocery store. Grocery stores are normally at front, normally.
Yeah.
And ideally, it would be a good option. But if you're not willing to go with that, which I accept, it is ideal it's not ideal for any one of you. But if you want to at least have anything that's heavier in your establishment, then by all logic and means, it should be at the very nearest entrance or exits. So I think that it should be a good ideal, a good compromise between whatever we have.
And plus, you have to think about the customers too.
Exactly.
Make it
We don't-
more convenience for them. When they buy liquor or like big bulks of food or
Yeah.
drinks.
So you're also not just like an HEB. You're a high quality grocery store. You sell like Russian caviar and English tea and imported goods. So this customer is, I mean, all around. All of us offer specialty items and a flower bouquet. It's the same situation. Their hands are full. It's still a special purchase that they're making and going to have to carry throughout the market.
And
so,
don't you think that ideally it would be a good idea for the clerk to be easily accessible to the car of the customer? That way, if they carry a heavy load for the customer or the customer is carrying the heavy load itself, it would be a good idea for him to get closer to that without going all the way, traversing all the way through the market. Don't you think it would be a good idea for you to have that?
I don't know. Let's just draw it out. So, if this is our entrance, welcome to our market. And we have how big would your store? So maybe your grocery store sits back here. And you have one little flower shop and one little bakery. And you've got some, maybe we have liquor and grocery store. So really, logically, you could come in, you could pick up your flowers, you could transact here, in and out. Your grocery store is big enough and close enough to the exit still. Your liquor store takes up way more space. Also, where are you going to get all your deliveries for all your goods? In the back of the building. And that's huge for you. So all of your heavy goods have to come back through the back, where your loading dock is, versus we just come in through one little cart.
It's a lovely picture. It looks like a face.
I don't.
Logic.
Yeah, well, it does work like logic, but I'm really not sure that it is the most ideal option. But how about this? I'm willing to go down and accept your smaller position if you decide to, well, maybe I don't know.
Go with A on maintenance.
Or how about this? Maybe you can accept D. You can accept having more convenient location for the department who has the most sales, and we're willing to go with D on maintenance and E on clerks.
No, I can't go with that.
I think it would be.
I think that work.
I think it would be ideal.
I think we go EAB.
EAB. No, I think
Between clerks, maintenance, and position.
I think it should be a good ideal to go E, and D. That way you have your separate your separate maintenance. You have your separate maintenance, but each of them be the common area being 25%. You have your clerks being hired, trained individually, and each of us paying for them, while having also the position for us to have, or for anyone who has the biggest sales to be at the front. I think it will be ideal, and it will be a good compromise in that sense.
So your floor space and your market isn't going to shift over time. So when it's Valentine's Day and my sales skyrocket because everyone is in my shop getting flowers.
So you're agreeing with me in that sense that since you're going to have the most sales during that day, you should be at the front. So
yeah, so it should be
D
either way.
No,
I do agree with you about the floors being in front. Yes, you too.
Yeah.
So B?
No, but we have to come to agreement to other things though. Like first, you guys want to start from the beginning with temperature?
Well, I think on the temperature,
we were set on temperature before this got out of hand.
yeah, I think we should go all the way to the beginning. I really don't think that would be.
I can't. Oh my god.
This just got real.
I think that for the temperature, we should agree that D is the best option.
D?
Yeah.
Okay.
D is the best option in that sense. I think we should agree.
How about Megan?
I could do it. If it helps in the long run, long
Yeah,
run.
it helps in the long run.
I could do E.
I could do B.
I could do E.
E?
E or D?
E.
Yeah, you see, that's where the agreement doesn't come.
But you
I
want-
will only do D if I can have B on position.
Hell no. No, that's not really ideal for anyone.
So I'll give you B on temperature, banging, if you give me...
No, we can't trade like that. We all have to come to a decision.
You give me E for position.
Well, at least we can agree on advertising that B is the best option in that sense.
B, okay.
B.
B.
On that, we
We're
can
done.
agree.
I'll take that.
Okay.
B is the best option.
No, I can't go with that.
Well, it's agreed
I'd go
upon.
with E
So.
for advertising.
On what?
On advertising, I have to go for E.
This is getting
well,
crazy.
Well, it is already on the sheet, so
No, but I'm not going with that. So D or E for advertising.
I think B would be the best option. I mean, combined.
To me, B is like the
Okay,
worst
so there's
option.
4 of us, so we will vote. If you are good with B,
For advertising.
raise your hand.
For advertising?
Yes.
Okay, if you're good with advertisement on B, I mean B with advertisement, then raise your hand.
How about we go to the issues first?
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so B is set in
No,
stone.
not yet though.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's 3-1 for advertising.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll start with clerks.
Okay, we got stuck in clerks for some reason.
Because we softly, did we softly agree on D for clerks?
On D,
I could do D.
D on clerks.
I could do C on.
I can do.
I could do C on clerks.
I could do D.
You guys like it individually, right?
Whatever you choose first.
E.
No, not ideal. Not ideal. Not ideal. Regardless of that, you on D you still get to hire them individually. But I mean, I'm willing to go down on that one if you're willing to accept D on position, because I'm pretty sure that that will be the best option in that sense.
No.
This is hard.
Yeah, especially with the position, because
Yeah.
honestly, like,
So on close, it's 2 and 2, right? 2 votes for hire as a group and 2 hire individually, right? Y'all
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, on clerks, yeah, I think we're 2 and 2.
You want to the next position? I mean, next thing?
Okay, maintenance. I think that A should be the best option.
So I agree with you too.
Yeah.
honestly, I feel that it should be D.
I feel like it should be D.
Do you guys have a second option besides D?
Well, if you want to go with separate and each of us having the responsibility for our own floor, then E would be a good compromise.
Same with me.
E for position.
Yeah, no, E for maintenance.
E for maintenance.
If you want to do E for position, I don't mind.
I could do no.
I can only do E for maintenance if I get a D or an E for clerks. I have to hire individually. I cannot
A
hire
D-
as a group for,
A D or an
D or E?
okay, and you do E on maintenance.
yes.
E on maintenance.
I can do E on maintenance.
E on maintenance. Is it saying that I have the most floor space?
E is
Don't tell me
whoever.
I'm just not
No, E
catching that.
on maintenance is separate. Each of us responsible for our own space, and 25% on the common area. So I'm willing to go with E, and if we do D as you say, that should be a good idea. D on clerks.
D on clerks?
And E on maintenance.
E on maintenance.
Yep.
Then, if we do that, then the position would be
We're not to the position yet.
Yeah.
So, all in favor of D on clerks, vote.
I could do D on. I could do D on first.
D on clerks.
Yeah, I think it would be ideal to do D on clerks.
You're out.
Yeah, we probably need to.
Skip to the next one then.
What time are we at?
It is. I got
8:30.
We have to be back at 8:45.
Or did he say 8:50?
Plenty of time.
Yeah, we have time. I think we could discuss a little bit more.
I think just rationally. I mean, I think we're trying to get into. Everybody is looking at what's best for them. I think if we look at what's best for the group, I really believe that. I mean, like, not that I feel like people aren't taking my feelings into account or what my business is about, but I cannot hire as a group and have people everywhere throughout the market. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help you as a business owner help hold your people accountable. If one day they show up with me, the next day they show up to bake, the next day they show up to sell liquor, the next day they're hungover. I mean, it just is like, doesn't make sense logically.
Hungover at work never works. Well, almost never
Yeah.
works.
Well, I'm willing to accept that. I see your point. I see what you're talking about. I'm willing to go down with maintenance. I mean, as a compromise, having maintenance done as an E, separate, each of us having responsibility for our own, and 25% for the common area. I think it's a good compromise. Has a little bit of what you want, has a little bit of what we want, what I want at least.
Yeah.
You know what? I could agree to both of your positions on these two different categories. If y'all give me an E on advertising,
If we do which one?
give me an E on advertising.
E on advertising
Yes.
for
a separate campaign.
No.
No.
No, I'm not willing to go that.
I'm going to agree with two different categories for you. Actually, three with Megan. On temperature, on
No, it's not ideal.
what was the other one? On clerks, and also on position.
No, it's not ideal. It's not
Y'all
ideal.
give me E on advertising. That's all I want. Advertising is very, very crucial to my company.
Listen, I can go as wild as say that I'm willing to go with E in clerks, D on maintenance, and even B on temperature. The only thing that I want is having advertisement in B and position in D.
position in B or E?
Position on D.
Position on D.
D as in dog.
Okay. If you could have one thing that is most important to you in this whole negotiation, what would it be to you?
I would say,
Smart move.
oh, that's a smart move. I would say D position.
So
What about you?
Nitpicking.
which are the most points you want?
Give me E for advertising.
Karen, what about you?
Mine is position and advertising. That's equal to me.
Nope, you get one.
One advertising.
On.
E.
Okay. Okay, so we have some discrepancies. We are fundamentally uncompatible in positioning.
Yeah, I
So
noticed that.
first one we should decide is where we could compromise on position. And I think it would be that the smaller businesses would be at the front. It would still give you optimal floor space, and you would have prime access to your distribution in the back. You have you have more goods coming in and out. You have more storage to fill. It doesn't make sense to floor based on the profits we have. We can all agree that literally should be out of the question.
Do you realize that you have described basically part of E? If we have bigger equipment or heavier stuff, we, or you, or whoever is in that sense, should have the nearest entrance / exits.
/ exits. So
Either or.
you could be nearer the exits,
Or you could be near
leaving
the exit,
space for entrance us.
Yeah.
which will mean that E in position should be an ideal compromise.
Okay. Let's for this. Say we did go with TBD. Okay. Advertising. E. I could get down with E if I was given E on clerks.
That would be fine with me.
That will be not ideal. It's
Okay.
B.
I'm
Or-
good. Well, just for the record, I'm good with E for clerks.
What about E and D for clerks?
I think I found it. Me, him, E on position, and we'll be on E on clerks for y'all.
Well, if you want to go with
like-
Okay.
So if we-
okay.
we do
E,
on E on
if we
clerks,
went E on position
yes.
and E on clerks.
That'd be fair, right?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
How about you?
it won't be ideal, but I think that should be good if we add B
For
advertisement.
advertising. Okay, let's not get
Okay.
there yet.
Yeah. But
Okay, so we're going E on
for-
position
Yes.
and
Okay.
E on
On clerks.
entrance. On clerks.
E on. Okay.
So we all agree on that, right?
Okay. E on. Okay.
I think I found something.
Say that one more. Okay. You said E on position.
And E on clerks.
Okay.
Be my best thing, but I can do E for clerks.
Okay, I could do B for maintenance and
Is it E for clerks and then E?
E for advertising.
No,
too.
not ideal.
too.
Not ideal. I think you should
Tell
be.
me why.
Well, mainly advertise. I'm sorry, not advertising. Maintenance. Let's think of the fairness of it. I mean, we do have the most space, as your little drawing on the face showed me. So, yeah, we have the greater space. That's good. But if we do share that same common area with you guys, I think it would be fair for everyone to contribute in an equal manner. Or if not, at least everything to be fair around the market
We got B as in boy.
to be shared collectively 25% each.
I think that's bullshit. I think we each need to pay for a percentage of the floor space we occupy. You have more floor space, therefore more goods, therefore more profit. Therefore, a fourth of your profit to go to a floor space is nothing compared to my flower shop and your bakery that we have not anywhere near the amount of profits, and we're contributing a fourth to the massive market. We absolutely cannot do that. That logically does not make any sense.
Logically, you make sense. So,
Yes.
how about this? If you're willing to go down with B on maintenance, I think it would be reasonable to get B with advertisement.
I can't go with that.
Okay, if we went to B on maintenance, say that was true, and maybe we'll hear what you both think. On advertising, if we are, so back to the maintenance, if we each are contributing just a percentage of the floor space we own, and say for advertising, we still have a combined campaign, however, we advertise in individual units on the same flyer, and then we each pay for a fourth of the ad. So we each get an equal representation on the market flyer. We have a fourth to talk to our features and benefits, why you would come to our shop. So maybe we can meet in the middle on C for advertising.
I agree with you. C is fine with me.
I really think we're like hard no against B and E, and C really feels like it would benefit both of all four of our businesses. We get a fourth of ad presence, and we have an entire combined campaign in addition to that, which is what you're wanting.
Well,
on B.
that's true,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to go with this. If we go with C on advertisement, then at least the temperature should be ideally D, 68 Fahrenheit.
Position
You said D?
Yeah, on temperature.
Well, let's pause on maintenance and advertising really quick, and then we can debate our temperature. So if we went C on advertising and B on maintenance, all in favor?
Or how about this? We can go and C on
What's
maintenance.
So, almost not 45. We got about 4, about 2.
C on maintenance should be ideal.
No, we already discussed it's percentage of the floor space occupied. Okay, we're gonna have to vote and then majority rule. So, C on advertising and B on maintenance, all in favor.
Wait, C on
C
advertisement.
on advertising, B on maintenance.
write your name on liquor.
Just for the, I can do it if it's for the greater good.
Screw the greater good. This is more important.
If you say yes, I could go down to D on temperature.
Okay, deal. Deal.
Are we
Back
gonna
and
deal?
Deal.
D temperature, C. Okay, D temperature, C, and then B maintenance.
C and then D, and then E on position.
E on position.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
And I need someone from you to send me the link because my phone ran out of.
It died.